So there's been the latest drama with AI art and Steam. You know, I heard about this indie developer who's been working on the game for years and years and had it pretty much all good to go. You know, it was like some sort of RPG game with like NPCs, right? You know, the NPCs, he had already written all the dialogue, whatever, you know, it was done. And he just added a feature for people to be able to add in ChatGPT to plug into the NPCs. So you could get like cooler responses, you know, whatever. And Steam was like, oh, hell no, bro. Deleted. Which in my opinion is stupid, man. That's like mathematicians fighting the calculator when it comes out. People can make all these weird arguments, these simplified arguments about how they think AI works. But the fact of the matter is, most people complaining about it don't know, including the people attempting to make laws about it. You know, I'm an artist. As soon as it came out and everything, it never crossed my mind that it was nothing more than just an awesome tool to like transcend and elevate art. You know, it's like being mad at a pen being invented. So yeah, in my opinion, those who don't use AI art, you know, later on or now are going to be left behind, because it's just going to elevate art to the next level. So to hear about indie developers being kicked off of Steam because of AI art that Steam can't even validate if it's copyright infringement or not, they don't even know what they're talking about. It's sad, man. And like, so recently I've been using it to, you know, the coolest thing about AI art to me so far is the texture generation. In the past, you'd have to, you know, go to stock image websites, whatever, and buy them or take your own photos. But now you can generate your own photos. So like, I've been working on this grass leaf environment, and instead of like, you know, finding all these PNGs of transparencies of grass and everything, I just generated like a billion, which is awesome. And you know, before you say, oh man, it just goes through copyrighted images and copies them and things like that, no, it literally can generate art as humans do by, you know, you look at something, you're inspired and you make something. Is that copyright? No. So I think the sooner that people come to realize that, it'd be better for everyone, including people consuming art and artists as well. I mean, imagine how much more you can do without the tedious little parts, you know? It's like people getting hung up on that. We should look at what people are saying about AI art and like that whole Steam fiasco. I saw the article on Reddit. It made me kind of upset, that's for sure. It says here, games will be banned on Steam if they use AI art. User here says, so this person, Thousand Ants game, has been banned from Steam precisely because they used AI art. This person used a calculator in their math, man. We have to ban them. That's what it says to me. Let's check out the video. Apparently this game got banned on Steam because of art. Because they used AI art.
Or we were about to put it out. In this video, I'm going to explain what...
Whoa, is that the game, dude? That looks sick.
So, welcome back. It's been a while. For those that have not been following along, my team and I have been working on a game called Night Run, which is a procedurally generated
dude, look at that.
Runner
Night Run. Motorcycles.
Game where you drive through a city and look at artwork and listen to music.
Oh,
our original
dude,
plan
okay, you look, dude,
was to put it out on Steam in early July, and we spent a bunch of time implementing Steam achievements and testing it on Steam Deck and driving wish lists to our Steam page, only to find out that we were not going to be able to release on Steam when we submitted the app for app review and got rejected, which, as you can imagine.
Okay, and it's like, who knows that that's AI art, right? Like who like, they have an AI art expert? Like, okay, let's see how they determined it, right?
It was not a nice feeling. The reason that we were rejected by Steam is because our game makes use of AI-generated imagery. And Steam has announced a ban against that imagery basically in early July. When we saw that, we actually saw some of that come up and we discussed it, but because of kind of the language in the announcement, we thought that this was a copyright issue, like somebody used Midjourney to make pictures of Sonic that they didn't have the rights to, or...
And I would even argue that those, dude, like, the legal world is not ready for AI art. And to blanket it and just say things like to blanket over everything is so dumb. Because you could do simple things like you create an original piece of art and then you just have AI slightly touch it up, rescale it, whatever. What does that mean? You know what I mean?
Generated images of Pikachu that they weren't.
And then again, it's like with Photoshop and filters and all of that, like that's AI, you idiots. Sorry, I know it's not you guys. It's very like, it's annoying when people get in front of progress, especially when it's for entertainment. Yeah, it's so cool.
Supposed to and put them in their game, and so I thought, oh well, you're not violating any copyrights, so we're going to be fine. Narrator voice. In fact, it was not fine. Instead, the ban is about the underlying training data that is used to train.
Again, do these people know what these companies are doing with the training images? Also, it brings me back to my other statement. You watch Star Wars and then you become inspired by it and go draw a picture that's completely original, but you watch Star Wars, so it's not yours? Like, that's what people are saying, man. The AI doesn't clip and copy. It literally learns.
These diffusion-based models like Midjourney and Stable Diffusion. And what is happening is that there is a legal ambiguity about whether training an image model on, in this case, it's the Lion data set, which was scraped from the web, whether that constitutes kind of fair use or not, right? And it's undecided and up in the air, and we're going to need to see some kind.
Right. So it's like, man. I know Epic Games is not taking this stance, so remember that.
Kind of legal process play out, maybe some laws or maybe just some kind of cases that decide whether or not there is a copyright issue with using these models or not. My interpretation of Valve's actions here is that they are playing it safe to wait and see.
Like, look at this badass game we all almost got and now we don't because of bullshit.
Where the legal shoe falls on this question before allowing or permanently banning the use of AI-generated imagery on Steam. Notably, Valve did have an exception saying if you can prove that you own...
If you can prove it, that's so... Dude, they're just asking people to lie.
All of the training data and you have the copyright to it, then that would be permissible, right? So if you trained a model from scratch, I think that would be allowed. Without...
What? Do they have AI people to even verify all that? Bruh.
Making this video all about my opinions about generative AI, what I will say is that I think it's a tool and that it can...
Hell yeah. It's a tool. It's a tool. People are getting mad at calculators, and it's so stupid.
Be used in an ethical or unethical way.
That is up for debate. I don't think there is an unethical way. Because you're not directly copying and snipping everything. No, man. It is a human being inspired, and people are mad.
Basic position is stealing from artists is bad, whatever tools you're using. Obviously, AI makes it a different game because it can be done at such speed and such scale. But fundamentally, I think the ethical principle is the same. You should not steal, directly copy, quote, make stuff that's excessively derivative of artists, period. You should always try to do something original, whatever tools you're using. But what I don't buy is the argument that AI can only be used to make derivative copyright rip-off works, right? I think like in the example of photography type work, there is stuff that you can do that genuinely is original and new. Now, the funny part about this is we actually expected some kind of challenge from Steam based on the fact that the game incorporates NFTs, right? Another controversial technology. In this case, Steam actually
NFTs are the future. I mean,
guidelines
I know a lot of people are going to hate that.
What the rules were and how you were allowed to use and not use NFTs in your game, which we carefully followed. We were ready to have that conversation with the folks at Steam and say, look, we read your guidelines. This is how we implemented the NFT component of the game, aka basically there is no crypto, blockchain, anything built into the game itself. We show the artwork, but the game is just a game. You don't need to buy anything or trade anything or do anything to be able to play the game. I felt like we were ready for that conversation. Then, of course, this AI thing comes out deep into production and a month before we're ready to release, and we weren't ready for that. And that really kind of put a stop to our goal of releasing on Steam, which obviously stings a lot and is something
so
we're
Epic
sad
Game
about
Store?
because we love Steam and we were really trying to follow the rules
not
and
anymore.
Make a good free game to put on Steam. But ultimately, I think I, as one of the leaders of the team, have to take responsibility for the fact that we incorporated two really risky, new, controversial technologies into the project, being NFTs and AI art. And that was a risk that we chose to take. And in this case, it's gone against us. And that's something basically that I have to take responsibility for and just say, well, we took a risk and it came back to bite us. And we take our lumps and
Dude, like, you're ahead of your time, man. I'm sorry that so many people don't see, like, the writing on the wall. It's like the horse and buggy people trying to fight cars.
Keep going. I think that there's a second bigger picture point on this that I think is worth discussing. Getting rejected by Steam really, especially, I mean, luckily in our case, this was a free game we already funded the production through the NFT sale, right? So we were not desperately eating ramen noodles, waiting to put the game out and get paid. That would have been a really, really hard pill to swallow and probably would have meant the end of our studio. But it was a tough experience, and it really did make me think we're in a world where, as game developers, we really are at the mercy of these companies in terms of access to the market.
That's why, dude, this is definitely... You can release games on the blockchain now, like Web3. Like, bypass all this bullshit. Sure, dude, I didn't even think about that. Fuck these companies that think they can just make up laws. You know, I love YouTube. It's created a whole new, like, dimension of work and everything for everybody. But at the same time, because they're private companies, they can kind of do whatever they want. And this sucks because of that.
Steam in PC gaming is really the 9 million pound gorilla. You know, you have the Epic Game Store, which is, even with all of their money from Fortnite, is still much, much smaller than Steam on the mobile platform.
Fortnite, man. What a crazy story that game is. Didn't even start out as Battle Royale.
Platforms, you have Apple with their, you know, very strong monopoly over the App Store, and on consoles, those are all operated by...
Like this, like this, the lighting, The old school motorcycle look, it looks sweet, man.
By the console providers. This is something we want to be careful about as game developers, is living in a world where any way for us to connect with players and get to the market is so strongly controlled by these companies, which can just kick us off. I do know that in this case, both NFTs and AI imagery are kind of unpopular topics, and indie game fans or indie game developers will be like, that's good that Steam is banning it. Forget.
I know, like, these people don't even know the potential of this technology. And they're like, no, man, just give me the same game every year. I don't even realize that this is the next fucking level for all entertainment and even beyond that.
Those guys, kick them off of there, right? I would just hope that folks have enough imagination to imagine that in this case it's happening with some technologies that you basically don't like, but that it could very well happen with something that you did like, or a type of content or subject matter that you liked getting blacklisted. And so I think it is something worth thinking about, the degree to which we have kind of allowed our industry to be taken over by these platforms and how much power we've given them. And maybe that's something that we want to look at in a
hell yeah, cannot agree with that statement more.
Critical way. This brings us to, what are we going to do? What's next? And I mentioned Epic Game Store. We're going to be releasing exclusively on Epic, and this is for a number of reasons. One, because they're kind of one of the few other viable large game storefronts that we can be on. Also, importantly,
dude, it's like the copyright laws and everything are already archaic and stupid, and they're already gonna be horrible when applying to this. Games are already like the lawmakers can barely understand video games as they are now. Why would Steam go this way? Dude, they're such babies. Dude, they have so much money, they're so huge, and they're the ones that are tiptoeing around old politicians that know nothing. Dude, it's annoying.
And this is kind of ironic for me, being someone who worked at Unity for years, and there was always this rivalry with Epic and Unreal. But Tim Sweeney, the kind of positions he's been taking with his battle with Apple over the App Store cut that they were taking from Fortnite, with his willingness, or with the company's willingness, to allow NFT or blockchain-based games on the Epic Game Store, and now with this decision of theirs not to follow Steam in a kind of an immediate AI imagery ban, I do really respect the pluralistic or
that's a funny video,
live and
dude.
let live type attitude they're taking of, maybe we don't ourselves want to use these technologies or agree with them, but we are going to allow people who do want to use them to make games with them, to distribute to people who do want to engage with them and play with them. I think that
Yeah. If anybody gets, like, anybody who takes a game to court over AI art to prove copyright, good luck, bruh. Good effing luck. So that's why Steam is like a petulant child right now with this AI stuff. They just want to keep the money ball rolling. They don't want games to change at all. They want the technology to stay the same. Really kind of makes you think about the oil industry, and they're so big and have their hands on everything. Why would they want anything to change, even if it's better?
It is increasingly important as the tech landscape gets more and more polarized. I really do appreciate Sweeney and Epic's position of allowing a range of technologies and types of games and different types of things a place to reach players via their platform. And I think it's actually ended up being more kind of aligned with our values, which is surprising to me, but interesting, and I think is something worth thinking about if you're a game developer as well. So last but very, very much not least, please wishlist Nightrun on the Epic Game Store. I'll put a link to the store page in the video description. Thank you so much to those of you.
Definitely go do that. If you care about AI art and you don't want big companies to have control over it, a simple little wish list might be the first step.
who have supported us all the way on this journey, either financially or just by watching these videos and commenting and so on. It really means a lot to us. And really, really, really what I want and hope for is just for people to play the game and experience it and hopefully enjoy it. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Looks sweet, man. I'll probably play it.
And it's something I'm truly proud of how it came out. The art, the music, the gameplay. I think it's...
Hell yeah, brother. Such a sad story too, man. Like, big oil. That's all it says to me. Let's check out the actual trailer.
Let's go.
Oh man, is this gonna be... Is this gonna be copyrighted? Sorry, bro. I mean the music on YouTube. Let me mute it. Ride fast to multiply your score. Oh, okay. And wipe out and end your run. So I guess you don't race against other people live, but the time trials. I can easily see people getting like super obsessed. And man, the vibes are sick. And then again, the AI art aspect of it, like it really keeps it fresh, especially if it's like they keep adding more or it generates more. Like that's sick. Or if they just generated like a bunch. So many people probably used AI art already that just didn't say it. So it's so stupid, dude. Let's look at some comments, some all-star comments from the indie games community. I can only imagine. You know, recently they made it so unless it's made by a human, it cannot be copywritten. Meaning AI art can't be copywritten, which is whatever. You know, that's not really in dispute here. Doesn't mean you can't sell it. It just means that you can't say it's only mine. You can still sell things even if they aren't copyrighted. It's the pending cases that could potentially rule AI art as violating other copyright. Dude, I really hope they have people that know what they're talking about when making these laws. But I highly fucking doubt it. Really? Nightmare scenario for this mega company who does very little but just have a library that people put books on. They don't even barely make any of the books. Oh, dude, whatever. Who is making these lawsuits? No one knows anything. Dude. All right, these people have no idea what they're talking about. Look, I'll say it here right now. I've made a game concept demo for Unreal Engine. Made it originally for UE4, imported it to UE5. And, you know, I made a point to do the UI, the cutscenes, everything. It's tough to even do, like, one level of one, like, collect-a-thon kind of adventure game. That being said, so many indie developers have their head in the clouds when they speak about these things. They don't even realize that this is, like, the edge they need to keep up with the big studios that make crap after crap. Like AI art is the mech suit for them. It's not a thief, it's a tool, man. But I've seen enough. I've seen enough of people not really knowing what they're talking about. So for now, it's just, it is what it is. Like, I love AI art. I think it's gonna make so many things better. Video games, movies, and you can even think about like how it could be used for people who are paralyzed and stuff, and like interpret their thoughts for words or whatever. You know, it could go so deep. But of course, copyright laws and money and everything gets in the way. How awesome. Is this really the guy? Oh, I think he's making fun. He's making fun. Dude, that's a lot of butter. I think you're supposed to do that though. Like when you make steaks. What the? Oh, 1 second. Okay. I guess. Oh, alright. Dude, that actually looks kind of good. This is on stupid food, but I mean, that's cooked enough. Oh, God, I hate it. That's one thing about me. You know, I like the food, the cooking, and all that. I don't like the watching people eat. What are people saying about this video? He is parroting Salt Bay. Yeah, obviously, this is satire. I want to see someone who says it looks good. Because I think it looks good. Huh. People having the same gripes with this guy as the original guy. What else we got here? Oh, aliens, man. Whoa. What the? What do you guys think? Real or fake? What is this music? What the? Bruh. I mean, it is kind of consistent now with the way they look, so maybe, you know, maybe, who knows?